Have you ever hit a massive, frustrating paywall just trying to look up a local court case? Or maybe you've wondered what kind of hidden history is sitting right there in your community's legal files. Well, welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into the ultimate detective's guide for finding Delaware County court records online, and we're going to do it completely for free. Whether you're a genealogist tracing your family tree, a dedicated researcher, or honestly, just a legal enthusiast, having access to public records is incredibly powerful. Mastering exactly how to find them is an absolutely essential skill, so let's get right into it.
Usually within the first 10 seconds of an online search, you're going to hit these sites that aggressively demand a credit card just to view a basic docket. But here is the really interesting part. These records are actually meant to be free and open to the public. They're yours by right. You absolutely do not need to pay exorbitant fees to third-party data brokers, as long as you know exactly where to look and how to navigate the official government systems.
So, here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll cover the power of public records, finding your Delaware County, the types of available records, a step-by-step search guide, third-party sites and troubleshooting, and finally, our key takeaways and a quick disclaimer.
Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, the power of public records.
It all really boils down to one word: transparency. State laws like Pennsylvania's Right to Know Law, New York's Freedom of Information Law, and Indiana's Access to Public Records Act all operate on a very specific presumption. That presumption is that judicial documents are public property. These aren't hidden vaults. They are your records. Because of this legislation, citizens are legally empowered to review and obtain government documents, including those from judicial proceedings, just to ensure accountability in our justice system.
Moving right along to Section 2, finding your Delaware County.
Okay, so here's a massive twist that trips up a lot of beginners right out of the gate. If you just type Delaware County court records into Google, you are walking straight into a trap. Why? Because there isn't just one Delaware County. There are literally 6 distinct Delaware counties spread all across the United States. If you don't pinpoint exactly which state you're looking in, you're going to waste hours digging through the wrong databases.
To put this into perspective, you really have to know your exact battlefield. Depending on your jurisdiction, you need a specific portal. For instance, if your case is in Pennsylvania, you'll need the C-Track system for civil cases or the UJS portal for criminal ones. Indiana, you're heading over to the My Case portal. Up in New York, it's NYCEF, and out in Oklahoma, you'd use the OSCN network. Each state has its own unique judicial infrastructure and its own quirky rules for accessing those document images.
All right, Section 3, types of available records.
Depending on where you're searching, the sheer wealth of information you can find is staggering. We're talking civil cases, which covers things like commercial litigation, landlord-tenant disputes, and small claims. You can pull up criminal cases, ranging from minor traffic tickets and summary offenses all the way up to full felony dockets. You'll also find family court matters, think child custody and support, as well as probate records for estates, wills, and guardianships. Just imagine trying to solve a decades-old property line dispute or tracing a historical felony. These databases literally hold the answers.
But we do need to keep in mind that transparency has its limits, mostly to protect personal privacy. Courts have to strike a really careful balance here. For example, juvenile proceedings are almost universally sealed across the board. In Indiana, any juvenile paternity cases filed before July 1, 2014 remain completely confidential. And over in Pennsylvania, you might be able to see that a divorce was filed on the public index, but the actual active divorce documents, those are strictly confidential, accessible only to the spouses and their attorneys.
Let's dive into the practical stuff with Section 4, our step-by-step search guide.
The foundational blueprint for running these searches is actually pretty consistent across all 6 states. First, you find the correct official portal. Second, you pass whatever security check they have. Third, you enter your data very precisely. And finally, you filter through the noise to find your specific document. So, let's explore exactly what this looks like when you're running a real-world investigation.
Take Ohio's e-access portal, for example. Before you even get a glimpse of a search bar, you have to pass a visual captcha challenge. You know the drill. You have to type those distorted, wavy letters exactly as they appear just to prove you aren't an automated bot trying to scrape the court's data. It's a minor hurdle for sure, but it's a completely normal security step for accessing these public portals.
Once you're finally inside, you'll generally choose to search by name or by case number. Let's say you're looking for an old business dispute. If you search by name in Ohio, they require at least the first initial of both names. Searching for a company, you'll need at least 2 initials.
Alternatively, you can punch in a specific case number. But a quick heads up, these databases are incredibly sensitive to exact alphanumeric formatting. If there's a space in the official number, you have to include that space. Once your results pop up, filtering by case type or status is really going to help you laser in on exactly what you need.
Which brings us to Section 5, Third-Party Sites and Troubleshooting.
When you're out there searching, you are definitely going to encounter third-party aggregators, sites like Court Case Finder or DelawareCountyCourt.org. Now, I'll admit, these sites offer a lot of broad convenience because they search multiple states all at once. However, they frequently tack on hidden fees, and if you read their own fine print, they admit they can't guarantee the accuracy of their data. On the flip side, official portals like Indiana's MyCase or New York's WebCrims are completely free, perfectly accurate, and come directly from the courthouse. Yes, the government interfaces can feel a bit clunky sometimes, but they are absolutely the gold standard for truth.
So what happens if you hit a wall? Let's troubleshoot. First, if you click on a document and just see an empty image view, definitely check your web browser's pop-up blocker settings. A lot of these portals open PDFs in new windows, which browsers love to block. Second, if a case is entirely missing, double-check that you are actually in the right state's Delaware County. Third, try name variations. Weird punctuation or aliases can easily throw off a search engine. And finally, just remember that digitization does have limits. If you're hunting for historical data, like a pre-2004 case in New York or a pre-1990s case in Oklahoma, you are more than likely going to need to make a physical trip to the county courthouse to view those old paper records.
Let's wrap things up with Section 6, Final Takeaways and Disclaimer. Before you start your own search, we always like to leave you with a quick professional disclaimer. Please always verify these processes with current official court sources. Technology evolves, portal URLs update, and public access laws do frequently change. So, while everything we've just outlined represents the current digital landscape, double-checking the official county clerk's website should always be your final step.
You now have the exact blueprint to bypass those annoying paywalls and confidently navigate the maze of Delaware County court records completely for free. The vault is officially open to you. So the only question left is, what hidden history are you going to uncover in your community's records today? If you found this explainer helpful and want to master more tools like this, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into public data.
Happy searching, everyone!